Let's go ahead and create some data now. So I'm going to show you some new data set. The new data set is user ID. The first one is user ID. Let me say U101 tab your session ID. Yes, session is ID, right? Yes, session 101 tab and page name. What page I'm going to load? What page I'm going to load? The page I'm going to load is Facebook tab. The browser name what I am using, Chrome. So tab. Then device which I'm using, laptop. Okay, and U101 again he can log in. Session it can be 2 and he can log in Gmail, again Chrome, mobile. Okay, let's take user 102, session 103, Facebook. So what we can do here, instead of Facebook and all, I can say login. I just logged in. After logging in, I can say products. Okay, so the same user he logged in and he moved to login page using Chrome and laptop. Then he moved from there to uh, products page, and let's say he can also logged in Chrome. So he used tablet. So then he moved to user 102, session 104, logout page. Let's say he used Chrome tablet to logout. So if I have a data like this, so how should I find the page views for each page? So each page how many people are logging in? Find the distinct visitor per each page. Find the distinct visitor for each page. Understand? So I'll go ahead and show you now. Let me save this. Big data. Here the file name is user session page browser.txt. Okay, so this is my data set. Now from this data set what I need to do, I need to find page views for each page. So login page how many people are logging in. Okay, products page how many people are going, logout page how many people are doing. I want to see page views. So let me copy this for our reference. Let me keep it in our regular class thing here. This is my data. So my first question is find the page views for each page. Number of views I can say. So you can say number of views. Okay, number of views for each page. Second, and also I want to find a distinct visitor. For each page, I need to find the distinct visitor. For each page, distinct visitors. Understand, right? This is my problem statement. You can have a data, you can have any type of data, you can have, so it's based on your, so you can take login page, you can take products, you can say again purchase, whatever the page you want to see. So I want, this is what my requirement is. This is what my requirement is. So can anyone guess how we can do this? Can anyone guess how we can do it?
Group by function.
Okay, first we need to load some path here using big storage. Okay, as you will specify user ID, and session ID. Okay, page has visited, browser has used. Okay, and device has used. All are char array, all are characters. You can keep it as a for your reference. For reference, it is for reference. We should know what is the columns are there. Okay, this is our references. Now come down. First we loaded the data. After that, so first what is the question? Number of views for each page. So now I need each page wise I need a count. Tell me guys what I need to do.
We'll do group by and group by user ID and page
So first
and find the count.
we need to do page wise group, correct? Yes or no? Page
Yes.
wise group we need to
Yes.
page group. So what is the command? What is the command? Guys are not trying the examples. Tell me guys what is the command?
By page.
Okay. Next, I have done page wise. Then what I need to do?
Count.
So how will I count? How will I get the count? For each, right? For each
Page
page
group.
group. Next, so here we are going to introduce something called nested for loop. Nested for loop. What is it nested for loop? The nested for loop is something like where we can find, where we can execute set of statements in a single loop. So how we have a for loop, right? The same way. So before for loop was, it's just for one statement, right? Now I want to execute multiple statements in this. I want to execute multiple statements in this. So I'm going to execute multiple statements within the loop. So what we will do, we need to find the distinct. We need to find the distinct by user, right? We need the distinct visitors, right? Right? Visitors equal, what we will do, distinct. Distinct is the keyword. So the new term we are new keyword we are using now. Distinct, and which way and where we need to find your input log, correct? Input log. In this distinct input log we need to find, and inside the input log you want to find the user ID. This is what I need to find, correct? Yes or no? Then what I need to do, generate here I need to generate group. So what is the group we have used before? So now I need to group. Yes or no, guys? Why I need to group? Can someone tell me? Can
Need to
someone tell me?
find the distinct visitor.
I need to find.
That distinct visitors page wise.
So distinct visitor page wise we need to group, correct? So here I'm going to group by, group by session ID, events, and whatever the page name, whatever you want to group, we will group all of them. Then we'll find the number of counters. Okay, generate group. So here we need to find distinct or came. What is the next distinct came? Number of views we need to find. So we need to find the now number of views. Right, inside the single loop only, I'm going to find number of views as well. I'm going to find views as well, correct? So to find this number of views, so I need to use group here, page group. In this page group I need to find the, and so group by what you want to group by. You want to group by single variable, or you want to group by multiple variables? You want to group by single variable, or you want to group by multiple variables? So let me show you here. I'm going to say input log dot user ID comma input log. So I need all the columns, so that's why I'm trying to take, I need all the columns grouping by. So I'm grouping by all the columns now. Your page which is the page we visited, right? And I need the device as well. Device. Here I'm count by user. user, right? Because I need the counters, right? I need how many counts are there. I need to find the counter based on the user. This count, I can say log input log dot user. You can specify like a table name and column name you will specify, right? The same way I'm doing here. As I can give a alias name visitor count. You can say visitor count.
And that is input log dot user ID, Ravi. That inside the count.
User ID, correct. It's not user ID, correct. Or column name is user ID. Done. So we have executed and I have semicolon here. Semicolon for the for each loop. So now what we did, we loaded the data, we group by the page, and after grouping by for each group page, what we are doing, we are going inside and we are finding your like what is the page based on the user ID page. He used the log. Unique means distinct means we need uh, along with the device also we need, right? So that's why we have used this way. Understand, guys? So if you want like distinct, after that you want to be sort, you want to sort descending order, ascending order, you can do that. Whatever the order you want to do, you can do it. Understand the for each how we will write? Do you guys understand how we will write?
Yes.
Okay, so this is how we will write the for each and distinct. Okay, so let's move. So you guys try this example. If you find any difficulty, we can have a discussion on this. So because we are getting it's getting delayed every session. So now I'm going to show you some more important these things like what you call operations. Let me show you the data first. If you go inside, I have something called A, B. These are the files. Let's see the input. This is my A page, page A, 1 0 comma 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3 comma 4. And if you see, let me close this. I don't need it. I also don't need user. I also don't know this. Okay, now I have A and I have B. I have A and I have B. So now I'm going to do some more operations. Please look at, guys. So what is my A? Let me copy from here. I'm going to show you some union, join kind of operations. That's why I'm taking this. This is my A. What is this? This is A. This is B. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more operations here. The operations are, now you understand what is A, what is B. Okay, so I'm going to show you union and joins. I'm going to show you split by. Some of the operations I'm going to show you now. Okay, so if you want, we can do them using this pick. Okay, first try to do it. So the first operation 1, I'm going to show you operation 1. The first operation is A equal to load. So I'm going to load the values of A. I'm going to load values of A using pick storage, using pick storage. what is my delimiter, comma, as I'm going to say a1 comma a2 comma a2 array a3 array. So what I will be doing, guys, I'll be sharing this file with you. This file has all the details, whatever the programs we are doing, right? All are there in this, all are there in the detailed. Okay, all are there with the detail. I'll be sharing this document with you guys. You guys can this is what this is what we have just executed, user session and all. So we will do them. Okay, so I have solutions also here. I have solutions also, group by page, and for each generate count you can directly count, and you can find the for each loop here. If you see for each loop also, you can look at here. Okay, you can find this. Okay, I'll be sharing this. Okay, if you want, you can execute these all exercises. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, this is what we are going to do. So exercise 10 we are going to do. So this is what I'm going to explain. Instead of typing, so let me explain, we have very less time, let me explain from here itself. Okay, I have loaded into a using this, and b I have used, and see here directly I have taken I didn't load anything, so you need to load. After loading, you need to specify this. So let it be, will be going to discuss from this point, this table. So instead of typing and everything, so you can easily, I have executed all of them and I have shown the results. So executed, these are the results here. Okay, these are not like a blindly I typed it here, all the results are available. So what I will do, I'll be sharing this document, you guys can continue. So max to max will be completing this pig by tomorrow. Today is Thursday, right? Friday and Saturday. Okay, from Monday onwards we're going to start a new topic. So that's the intention, then nothing else. Okay, look at guys here. I have loaded a1 a2 a3, and I have loaded b1 b2 b3. Now my a is, when I print a I have these values, when I print b I have these values. Now I need to do a union, and I need to put into, I want to do union, and then I need to put into C. Okay, loaded, loaded, loaded. Because I have taken numbers. Before I have taken char array, but now I have taken number, because I'll be below statements I'll be doing min, max, or I'll be doing some of the specific number operations. That's why I'm loading numbers here. Now when you dump a, I have two tuples. But first one is 0 1 2 3, second one is this. Same with b as well. When you dump with b also, the same operation, the same. B also will be same. Now what I'm going to do, the first operation, C equal to union of a comma b, union of a comma b. So I'm doing union on a comma b. So let's see what is the union operation, what it will do. Can anyone tell me what is the union? What is the union operation will do? Look at guys, result.
It will combine both data.
It will combine both the data, right? It is combined both the data, right? Your a and b has been combined. Yes or no? The a and b has been combined. So we saw that now how to combine the data. So we will see how to split as well. We will see how to split. I want to split the data based on the some category, some condition. So I want to split. Let's say split your C. So now only just now we have combined. Now we are going to split C into D specific condition. If I'm writing if condition here, if C has how many positions? C has how many positions? 0, 1, 2. 3 positions are there. I'm splitting C into D. I have to specify positions based on some condition. Dollar of 0 equal, if dollar of 0 is equal to 0, put that into E, put that into D. If split C into D, if dollar of 0 equal to 0, if put there. Okay, else we don't have, we're not going to use else, but we are using E. You put into E if dollar of 0 means what, guys? Dollar of 0 means what?
First column.
Very good, first column. Okay, now dump your D whoever start with the 0, the first column, whoever start with 0, they come into first column, and dump E. So you'll see whoever start with the 1, they will come into the E. Let's look at, guys, here. The C, your union is combining the two different relations, where split is dividing one relation into multiple tuples or multiple relations, you can say. Understand? So if you dump it here, you found this. So let's try to understand this. What is trying? The union operator allows the duplicates. You can use the distinct operator to remove the duplicates. So you may find the duplicates. Suppose you want to, just now we have seen how to remove the duplicates. We will use the distinct operators to remove the duplicates from the relation. Our split operation on C sends the tuple to D if it is first field is 0, and E if it's the first field is 1. Correct? It is possible to write a condition such that some rows will go to both D and E or neither. So what does it mean? You can write a condition which one has to go which field, which one has to go which relation, which one has to which relation, or there may be a chance if the condition is not satisfied, they may not go as well. So we don't have a 10 and 20 here, so you can make it 0, you can make it 1. Otherwise you will not get these results. To get these results we have to be 0, not 10 and 20. Okay, so you can simulate the split by multiple filter operations, multiple filter operators. The filter operator alone trim a relation down to only one tuple that pass the certain test. So you can, I'm doing here F filter, D and D I have already used, so that's why I'm taking different name here. Filter C by greater than, their first position. First means, what is the first position? This one, second column. Greater than 0. Then only you'll put into F. You can also do like that. Filter operator we already seen, right? Filter operation we already saw. Let me do it. Filter operation we have done very first class. So dump F. So it will start dumping your whoever is greater than the first column, first column, second column, whoever greater than 1, they have been shown you here. Sorry, greater than 0, not greater than 1, greater than 0. So if you say greater than 1, one column will miss. If you say greater than 1, I'm saying greater than 1, dump F. You'll not get, you get only 3 columns. Before you got 4 columns, 4 tuples, now only 3. 5, 7, 3. 1 is not come. Okay. The same way, you have something called group. Group we already saw. Okay. So group your C by column last last column. What was our last column? What was our last column? If it is A, If it is A, 2, 4. If it is B, 2, 8. So I'm going to group by last column. So these operations will show you detailedly, guys. Okay, I'm going to do group by last column. Okay, look at here. I have group by last column. I have group by last column. If I say dump G here, so it will give me 2 into 2 tuples. 2 has a 2 tuples because in the A one tuple is there, B also one tuple is there. 4 is only 1, 8 is only 1 because I'm grouping by last column. So if you find the count, we already see the how to do a count. So you know that how to do a count, right? So describe is one of the operator to describe the to see the description or a schema of the specific relation. Okay, you can describe that and you can see this. If you describe, it will show that it's a group and the type of group is integer. I'm doing group by last column. I mean the which column you are trying to do. In that, what are the positions? We can put all tuples in a single relation. This is also another important. Suppose when I say group, you guys saw this kind of groups, correct? So now I want to put all the relations into one group. All the relations into one group. Group by all. Nothing. Whatever the tuple you want to do, here you specified the position, right? You have something called group by all. Let's go this. There is no by operation. See, all are become a single group now. These are all are become a single group. All are become single group. Able to follow, guys?
Yes, Ravi.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now if you want to find count, let's look at there next. For each your group, all group. Now we have given H as all group. So let me load this one. Otherwise I will not get the H. I want the H. I want the H relation. So now these are all there. Now for each and every point, or like for each and every tuple, I want to find the count of the first column. First column. I mean first in the sense second. $1 means second column. $1 means second column. Say dump I. See dump I. Look at here. 4. Because 4 tuples are there. Each tuple has a second column. If none of the tuple does not have it, it says that empty. I mean, it will not get it. It will not get that value. Okay. There is something called co-group. This is another very much important interview question. What is the difference between the group and co-group? So group you will do by single tuple. The group you will do by single, I can say single field. When you want to do a multiple fields, when you want to do a multiple relations, I can say the group will do by single relation, but when you want to do by multiple relations, we will go with a co-group. But the co-group results is little different. Okay, it'll work like a join. Let's look at like which groups together, like together two tuples from the multiple relations. Its functions much I mean similar like your join. For example, let's co-group and your I'm grouping by second column in the A, second column in the B. Look at guys, it's really interesting operator which is co-group. Another famous interview questions are there. They'll ask what is the difference between the group by co-group, what is the difference between the co-group and join. Okay, so how the co-group and outer join will work, this kind of questions you'll get. Dump J and dumping and J. So if you look at here, the result, the same result, well, let me explain from here. The same result, look at here, the first one is, I mean, so I am grouping by last column, right? In A last column and B also last column in grouping by it. So whoever matched, so two tuples I am grouping, so whoever matched both are came. If you see in A, you have a 2 here. If you see in B, you also have a 2 here. 2 here. You also have a 2 here. It means both relations have a last column as a 2. So now I got the join. So what kind of result you can say that? That is a kind of inner join. Common fields only fetched. Can I say it is an inner join? Okay, next. So 4, because I'm doing with the last column. This is 4. So how many tuples are there? Only left side. Only A is there. Only A is there. B, there is no 4. Right? In a B tuple, there is no 4. Then what we will call that? You can say left outer join. So like all the fields from left side it is came, but right side whatever it is there it is not come. You can look at the result as well. Whatever it is there from the left side, all are came. Because here we have only two rows, so that's why you are not, I mean, we are showing this way. If you take multiple values, it clearly shows that. So whatever there in the left side, it came everything. What does it mean? Left outer join. So left side whatever is there, whatever matched, all are come. Whatever is not matched from the right side, it is empty. It is empty. We can avoid these empty bags. I will show you that. Okay, and this is the last column 8. Whatever matched the right side, all are came. Whatever is not there in the left side, nothing is come. So what does it mean? It is a right outer join. Okay, is that the same case in your join case, normal group case? In the normal group, so only one relation we can do. If you see here, we already have some group here. See here. See here. How many relations we have used? Okay. Understood, guys? The difference? Aparna, Debashish, Sunil, Srini.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ravi.
Okay. So you can also, there is a description here. So let me explain this. Whereas group always generates two fields in its output, two fields only, right? Your group is always two groups, two fields. One is this, one is the group name, I mean other one is the values, the respective relations. Two fields in its output. Crow group is always generates the three outputs. Three means because two relations we have taken, that's the more. If a grouping more than two relations, if you are grouping more than or more, not only three, it can be give more. So the first field is a group key, whereas the second and third fields are the bags. These are the bags. This is one bag from A side and this is one bag from the B side, correct? So these bags holds tuple from the co-grouping relation that match with the relation. So the grouping key, whoever match with the specific grouping key, they will give you those bags. If a grouping keys matches only tuple from one relation but not other relation, the other relation will be showing you empty bag. And whatever is matched, it is comes with them. Whatever is not matched, they came empty bag. So how to avoid this empty bag? There is some keyword called inner. Will let me show that. To ignore the group keys doesn't exist for the relation. So here it does not exist. So I don't want to get the empty key. So one can add inner keyword to the relation, that operation like. So when you do that operation, it will not create empty things. Let's look at guys here. I'm adding to B. I'm adding to B, saying that if you didn't find in the B, you don't take that. You don't take that relation. So co-group A by last column and B by last column. So then inner. So as soon as I say inner, it will not show me that empty bag. So it's not show me this. It not show me this bag. Why? Because it's now no matches. Inner means always only matches only we need to get. So it's kind of joining A and B, right? So if it's not matched, don't show me that. So under the same way, you can also show for both A and B also you can show, A inner and B also inner. In this case only match will be shown. This is like a purely inner join. It is like a purely inner join. Understand? Okay, so conceptually you can think of the default behavior of the core group is the outer join, and inner keyword is modified, it's left outer join and right outer join or inner join. So another way, let me make it in single page. Another way to inner join in pig uses a join operator. We can use a join operator. The main difference between the join and inner co-group is that join creates a flat set of output records. Flat set here bags. It looks like a schema. Let's look at guys here. This is cross Cartesian product. We know Cartesian product, right? Okay. Let's look at. I'm going to do join A by this field and B by this field. So when I say it is a flat tuple, flat set. It's a flat set. Whatever is matched, it will bring on. But whereas in this other case, it will bring the bag and tuples. Okay. You guys try them. Okay. I'll just going forward. You guys try them. For each, we already see the for each column, you can do operations like this. For each, generate A2 with A2 into A3. So whatever the value is in A2, you are multiplying with A3. So A2, this A2 is a second column, and you are multiplying with the third column. Look at here. We can look at it. We have to see C. C is the union tuple, right? We need to see this tuple. We need to see this tuple. To understand that, we need to see this tuple. What is our C? This is C. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to the second column. Second column I'm going to multiply with the third column. 2 ones are 1, 2 ones are 2, 5 twos are 10, 4 threes are 12, 7 eights are 56. 1, 5, 3, 7. I'm generating only one column. This one only second column. But my third column is I'm multiplying with the specific two columns. Okay, so you can also look at here. So for each is always follows by alias name given to the relation, followed by the keyword generate. This expression after the generate control the output. At the simplest, we use a for each to project a specific column of the relation into the output. Here I have whatever the columns I want to generate. A2 I want to generate, or you want to generate complete group, you can generate. You want to generate A comma B comma C comma C, you can generate like that. Okay, so we can also apply the arbitrary expressions such as a multiplications, and in this preceding example. So for relation with the nested bag, one generated by the grouping operator. So for each has a special projection syntax for richer set of functions. For example, applying nested projection to having a bag relation is the only one first field. You can also specify the first field whatever the relation. So if you see your G, how was your G? This is the output of G grouping. This is the output of G. Now look at guys here. For each G, generate group C.1. From G, I'm bringing first column only. I'm bringing first column only from the group, right? So the first column, how will you bring from the group? You know this. From the 2, first column 0. In this, first column is 0. So 0, 0 came. In the second, the fourth, first column is 1. Only 1 came. In the 8th, first column is 1. 1 came. Right? You can also do like that. That's the for each. For each tuple or for each group, you can traverse. To get the fields in each bag, for each generate and 2 you can bring. So if you want A1, A2, both you want, you can bring it like this. A1, A2, you can bring it like this. Okay. So most built-in pig functions are grouped towards their bags. So let's say I want to count the C. I want to count the seats. 2, how many bags are there? So 4, how many bags are there? I mean, how many bags? Oh yeah, you can say bag or tuple. How many tuples are there? 8, how many tuples are there? So I'm counting here, second column, because this is my group, no? This is my group key. Group, 2 groups are there. 4, 1 group is there. 8, 1 group is there. Okay? This is what we have done so many previous examples. For each generate this and group count by something, you can give alias name also, and we can use that alias name in further classes as well. Okay? So, okay, here this is a very simple flat, I can say word count example, the flatten example. The flatten is the keyword. The flatten is the keyword. So where you want to break multiple one, where you want to break one tuple into multiple pieces or multiple single fields, we will use the flatten. Okay, first I'm loading complete my data into this is the saying line, and for each log I'm generating the flatten. I'm tokenizing by line because we need to tokenize, right? Otherwise we'll not get the single words. Split, it's kind of a splitting. Okay, then I store them as a words. I have stored them as a words, and I'm doing group by. We need to do a group by word, right? So shuffle, if you remember our map reduce, will do short and shuffle. So shuffle by words, this shuffle by words. I mean these words I'm shuffling complete words by this word. So now I got the shuffle. Then you can just go ahead and find the count. This is the MapReduce program in the pick. In the Hive also very simple. So load into one table. There also you can do lateral view, explore. You need to do. You need to explore there because that one row has a multiple values that has to be break into multiple multiple rows. One row has a complete words. It has to break into multiple words. So you have to use the explode, lateral view explode, and after using explode you can find the select of each count by group. After doing a group by, you can find the selection. Word count in the pig, word count in the hive may important. You may get an interview question. They may ask you to write word count in a pig, word count in the hive as well. Okay, okay, this is how it works. Okay, what we will do, we will wind up now. Tomorrow we'll be working on text data. The text data came. This is something called a stock data. In the stock data we'll be doing multiple operations. So find the minimum and maximum I was talking about, right? How to find the minimum and maximum and the minimum for each specific opening price. So we will try to do all these operations tomorrow. So from these operations we'll be learning something new. Okay, then pick programs, how we will do execute. This already we have seen the batch mode. Okay, this joins we already seen just now. Inner join, outer join. If suppose you want to do a joins, you can specify the join. You can specify the joins. Okay, so you can specify the joins like this. We just saw. We'll be looking into joins more. Not only these joins, guys. There is something called replicated join, merge join, skew join. These joins we'll be discussing tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we'll be completing this file. I mean this exercise. After completing this exercise, I'll be showing you something different tomorrow. Okay, we'll be using something else tomorrow. I mean this day after tomorrow, that's called UDFs. We'll be talking about that. Then we'll complete the pick. Okay, understand, guys?
Ravi, this text file is shared in the GitHub.
No, I'll share this one. I'll send to each and every one. So please remind me. I'll send to each and every one this file. You guys need to execute all these examples. Then only you'll understand. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
thank you, guys.